Your hair right now is insane.
It's hot.
Yeah, dude.
I'm sure our
Damn.
female audience is just drooling over the thought of my hair right now.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 55 of the Movie ReBrew podcast. I'm your host, Keegan Holland, and with me is my co-host, Mike Jennison.
What's up, everybody?
What are you doing?
Turning on the light in my room. It was very dark and depressing.
Yeah, you.
I did it for Hellboy. Did it for Hellboy. Makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. This week we watched the new Stephen King movie, Pet Sematary. We're in the midst of a Stephen King renaissance. Other than it though, have any of them been well reviewed?
What else is there besides it?
The Dark Tower.
Yeah, it was awful.
He's had a lot of TV shows, a lot of Hulu TV shows.
Oh yeah, like the 1963 about the JFK.
Yeah, and then the one Hill, Haunting at Hill, or I don't even know.
Yeah, and The Shining sequel.
The sequel's coming out this year. Yeah.
Which I assume is based off a book, right? Yeah. You had to write a sequel to that, I assume?
Yeah, it's based on a book. It's getting middling reviews, but a lot of horror does. Mike, you drinking a beer?
I am. I'm drinking Rhinegeist Hustle. It looks like a baseball, and it's named after Pete Rose, whose nickname was Charlie Hustle. His best years were with the Reds, and Rhinegeist is a Cincinnati brewery. They made it for opening day. And I'll read the back of the can. Off at the crack of the bat. Spikes dug in, exploding with speed. Hustle breaks the game wide open. This Indian Pale Ale takes a hard, hoppy cut and a soft, fluttery hanging curve. Driving notes of peach, tangerine, and citrus. Back, gone.
Very well done.
Too bad the Pulitzer Prize for Journalism was announced last week.
They spell Pet Sematary the way I think you would spell Pet Sematary. Ooh.
See, that was dawning on me. I never realized that until it was spelled wrong until she said that. I'm like, did I just not realize it was with an S, or is that how I would have spelled cemetery? The world will never know.
It's definitely how you would have spelled cemetery, especially
no.
after your performance on your 8th grade notebooks with English, Science, Religion, and Math. You got math right. We'll give you that one.
It should have been arithmetic, though, so...
No. You took the easy way out, the coward's way out.
Or mathematics, or some shit.
Before we get into the movie... Oh, you got something to say?
Nah, that's all.
All right. Before we get into the movie, we'll jump into a little bit of news.
Good evening. I'm Will McAvoy.
I'm Evan Baxter, and here's what's making news.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world tonight.
Mike, I'll let you take it from here.
Before I get to the Star Wars news, Rey in this new movie is wearing way too much makeup. She looks way too like a modern girl. There's not enough StarArs in her. That's all I gotta say right now.
Maybe that's natural. Maybe it's Maybelline, Mike.
I guess so.
But she does look... she looked amazing in The Last Jedi, too, though.
Yeah, but, like, you know how I feel like other Star Wars leading ladies have a little, like, signature look? What's her look?
Smoke?
Yeah, but I feel like, doesn't she just have a ponytail?
She's in a ponytail in this one?
I don't know. Like, what's her hairstyle?
She has the three knots on the back of her head.
Oh, 3 scrunchies. Oh.
What?
I don't know.
All right.
Back on topic. Star Wars: The Rise of the Skywalker. Initial reaction, go.
I've kind of cooled down over the last couple of days, but it was pure anger for the first 24 hours. I still think the title is really bad, but maybe they're just trying to keep us off the scent a bit. I was on board for the trailer until the last 3 seconds, where Emperor Palpatine is seen cackling in the distance. People are saying they're at the second Death Star crash site. I didn't really pick up on that, but if they are, if they do another Death Star, again, I'm walking out.
You said you were going to break both your legs and crawl out before we went to go see Star Wars 7. And Keegan didn't. Spoiler alert. He actually really enjoyed it, so...
No, I think I said that going into 8.
No, I think it was Charlie. Whatever.
I can't remember. Either way, if they do another Death Star, I think it's already evident that J.J. Abrams was the wrong guy to bring back. The guy loves mystery boxes but hates closure. It seems like they're gonna kind of retcon all of The Last Jedi. And look, I get it. A lot of you out there don't like The Last Jedi, but to use your third movie in a trilogy and ninth movie in a saga to erase what just came before it, and to bring back the villain from the first 6 movies in the last movie of this trilogy just seems like the wrong move to me. And it pisses me off because the subreddit prequel memes, it seems like that's who this is catering to. People that are seeing this and going, yes, Palpatine, or the Senate lives, or whatever the fuck people are saying. It's really pissing me off that people just want what they know and that they refuse to accept anything different.
Yeah, I love it. I love what was it called? The Last Jedi? Yeah. Yeah. That was a terrific movie. Arguably is the best Star Wars movie. And the fact it was like a real movie. And if you just want catering nostalgia, then go watch freaking the original trilogy. God damn. I don't like that name. I heard one thing that when they finally win, they're gonna name the new good
The
people
Jedi Order
Skywalkers,
would
to be called Skywalkers.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that's cool. I would have loved that happening at the end of this movie. I didn't need to name the Rise of the Skywalker. I think it's a nice little thing, but it's either that or I don't know, someone comes back, or maybe Kylo Ren turns good, which I think could still happen. But
he's still a Skywalker, so that's on the table.
I don't like where this is at, though.
No, me either. But what you said, where this is the new order, that would remain consistent with The Last Jedi, where burn the past, you need to move on. The Jedi, like Luke said, it didn't work, so maybe this is a way. Because if you try to keep on building up the light, the answer is for a dark to also rise. So if you just have a whole new thing, then maybe this is how they can keep going forward. But if you just take it on face value and it's just like, I mean, is Rey gonna be a fucking Skywalker? Are they gonna fix what everyone was so mad about? Did your light just go out? Or are you just blocking it with your head?
Why go mad?
Yeah. If they just change that and just say like Kylo lied to her, I'm gonna be furious. I don't know what I'd be more mad about, a 4th Death Star or Rey being a Skywalker or Kenobi or whatever it is.
I'd be more upset with Rey being a Kenobi or a Skywalker.
I mean, for the 4th fucking time, though? Like, are you kidding me?
Let's do it. Grander scale.
Honestly, if they even do one of them, fucking lean into it and do the other one, and just make this entire franchise an absolute joke of itself.
It's gonna make or break.
If they do, it's dead to me.
It's looking bad. It's looking real bad. I don't trust J.J. Abrams as far as I could literally throw him, which wouldn't be very far. Spoiler alert. This is gonna be bad. This totally killed all my momentum for this movie. I was quite looking forward to this. Walking out of 8, I had nothing left. Feels like a chore.
I like Lando a lot, but even bringing him back is like, hey guys, remember Lando?
Is Lando coming back?
Yeah, he's in it he's like, they show him for a second. But it's just like anything they can even remotely latch onto from the original trilogy to keep people in, and just the refusal. Like, for me, it's starting to feel like even having any of the original characters in it was a bad idea, because they're just so attached to that at this point, and they just can't move forward.
That's why they should have killed them all in the opening scene. Should have Kylo Ren decapitate all 3 right away, and you go, holy crap! Didn't see that coming.
Damn, son.
And then wear their skin as jackets.
It's Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. Wow.
Buffalo Bill, rather.
How did you think he was terrifying? He could use Luke Skywalker's lightsaber to kill people. Oh God! I mean, it would totally just destroy the original trilogy, but that's fine.
Even the lightsaber that exploded last episode, that's what she's using again. She's still using the same lightsaber. It's like, no, we can't change even a little bit. We gotta keep using that same through line this entire way through. I mean, maybe they've changed stuff in the past from the trailer. Maybe it's like CGI to look that way, and it'll be different this time. But it's just like every little thing. It drove me nuts. We'll see.
I guess we'll see. I hate it so far.
They have been very good at not really showing much for their trailers leading up to the movie, but whereas with Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, I was like juiced about the upcoming movie. I'm just like, oh God, what the hell is this going to be?
Yeah. Chore.
Sure. All right. My blood pressure's going again. I'm going to move past it.
Yeah, it seemed like you said you calmed down on it, but then you started talking about it.
Yeah,
And shit,
I haven't really thought about it for the last couple of days. Now I'm just livid again.
All right, next bit of news. This is some good news for everyone listening. Disney Plus will be $6.99. I saw one of the things they announced with it will be they will have all of Simpsons library on there, which will make up like 10% of their total TV when it launches. And I think it's launching in November. $6.99 is incredible. That's so low. I think we're all shocked by that. And then a screenshot of what it will look like. You have Moana in there. You have the original Star Wars in there. You have Snow White. You have Black Panther and Frozen. So if that leads me to believe that almost our whole entire library will be at your disposal for $6.99. And I want to say that Netflix's biggest impact, or their longest legacy, might be the fact that they made Disney actually unload their library. Disney used to have the Disney Vault, if we all remember correctly, where they used to only release like a Little Mermaid once every 10 years on a special DVD that they would charge $25. They also showed Snow White in theaters once every 7 years throughout the 30s to the 90s. So the fact that Disney's literally unloading their library and giving it at $6.99 a month shows how big of a threat Netflix really is to them. This will make them compete day one with Netflix, I'm pretty sure. I think this will be a huge hit. I also don't think it'll be $6.99 for long. What do you think?
No, I was blown away by the price point. We have been very vocal on this about we probably wouldn't have gotten it if it was like $15. But man, $7, like that is the price of a burrito for your all Disney at your disposal with a lot of interesting stuff coming out. I'm not sure if you have the list of originals. I have some off the top of my head, but I way more likely to buy it because I mean, I don't think I could have done another $10, $15 thing. I mean, I know it's only $3, but it's so low. It's low. It's the lowest of any of these streaming services.
So I have everything here. Ready for this? In the first year after its launch, Disney Plus will include 7,500 episodes of current and off-air TV shows, which Simpsons will make up, I think, 10%, which sounds about right. 25 original series, 10 original movies and specials, 400 library movie titles. So that'd be pretty much all of Disney's library. And I think we're going to see at least a good chunk of it. And 100 recent theatrical films. According to Angus Chu, Senior VP of Content for Disney Plus, this includes exclusive rights to all 30 seasons of The Simpsons. So there you go.
And then they announced the new Marvel shows, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, which is just a terrible name for the Scarlet Witch and Vision show, The Mandalorian from Jon Favreau. Was there any other Marvel one? Oh, Loki is getting his own show. I mean, at $15, I wasn't gonna watch those at all, but with $7, I might just like buy it, watch them all, and then I may probably even keep it with such a low entry point.
I wonder if you can like lock in that, or if they're gonna make you like get out quickly. Like I wonder if I buy it from day one, do I get $6.99 for at least a year? Because you know it's gonna go up.
Oh, it has to.
I'm just wondering.
Does it have to? It's Disney. They have all of the money.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Also, I think it's interesting because I haven't heard much about Fox's library being on here, and I heard that they said that they're beefing up their money on Hulu. And I heard that they want to make that more adult. So maybe they're going to save all of 20th Century Fox library for Hulu, which would really help Hulu out. I wasn't quite sure what they're going to do with it, but it sounds like they're really actually investing money in Hulu. I imagine a name change coming up, though, for Hulu, because Disney owns the majority of Hulu. Yeah. And I feel like at this point it needs rebranding, but I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if it does. The first 6 Star Wars movies are Fox, so, I mean, that right there is 6 movies from Fox that are going to be on Disney+.
Yes, but Disney, I guess that's true because they didn't have the rights to those movies.
Right.
But yeah, literally the 5 little tabs they show is Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and Nat Geo.
Okay.
Which really shows you how much they're going to expand Star Wars when it has its own damn tab.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have all the animated shows, all the movies, the new Mandalorian. I'm not sure Hulu needs to. Hulu's a very well-known commodity at this point. I don't think a rebranding necessarily is needed. Do you think so?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like everyone knows what Hulu is, but I feel like no one has it.
Spotify.
Now with Spotify, but I think that's also not like the strongest thing to see Hulu bundling with Spotify. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Hulu's gonna be okay, and then I mean with Disney's backing especially, it'll help it a lot.
Well, yeah.
I think was very exciting news coming out of. Was this all announced at Star Wars Celebration?
I have no idea. If I scroll to the top, I'm sure it'll say.
I mean, because Celebration was the last weekend in Chicago, and I think this news came out at about the same time. I don't know if there was a different Disney thing going on, but
No, it's Investor Day in Burbank, California. Disney 2019 Investor Day.
okay.
Bob Iger was saying to the investors. Oh, you can also do the annual $699.99 per year, which works out to $583 a month. So it's actually cheaper.
Oh my god.
It's actually $583 a month if you pay yearly, which I recommend because they might change that monthly pretty quickly. Wow, $5.83 a month. That's insane.
Your hair right now is insane.
It's hot.
Yeah, dude.
I'm sure our female audience is just drooling over the thought of my hair right now.
Why is it so curly? It's never that curly.
Dude, it's so curly these days.
Ridiculous.
My friends from Cincinnati and is friends with a kid that I'm not that good of friends with, and they go, "But yeah, Mike, you got that curly. You have like really curly hair." I'm like, I don't have curly hair. I don't know what's going on.
You shouldn't, but right now it's off the charts.
It's been since his haircut. I don't know what happened. I'm okay with it. I'm here for it.
You said you had one more thing in news?
My last bit of news, and this is just not going to live up to the hype of the first two. I'll power through this, though. Glenn Close will join Amy Adams in Ron Howard's Hillbilly Elegy for Netflix. I read the book. It's by Ohio State grad, actually, Keegan. It's about basically the importance of the past generation. Actually, our grandparents' generation. We're 20-year-olds, so kind of the 2 generations ago, the importance of leaving like the Kentucky and West Virginia and moving to more cities. And it kind of just looks at how rural areas and cities, the people that get raised in there, how their lives are different. And it's told through one man's story who's J.D. Vance, I think his name is off the top of my head, who's Ohio State alum, then went to the military, then went to Yale Law School. It's got a wonderful story, and it seems like there's good talent behind it. So I'm looking forward to it. Glenn Close, Amy Adams, Ron Howard on Netflix. So I just wanted to throw it out there. Okay.
That's exciting. Do you have the book?
I do. I gave it to my dad.
Get it from me this weekend.
I'll get it from my dad.
What made you read that?
E2. I think it was a New York Times bestseller like 3 or 4 years ago, like one of those It books, if you guys can bear with me for a second. And E2 was like, yeah, I'm going to read this by an Ohio State grad, and he told me about it. And I'm like, oh, shit, that sounds actually pretty interesting. And he was actually doing a speech at Ohio State. So we're like, all right, let's read this book. We're going to get him to sign it. We're going to hear about the book. Me and him read the book. He read the book. I stopped halfway through. And then the next year we saw he was coming back. Neither of us went. Next year we saw he was coming back, and I'm like, I'm going to finish it this time. So I finished it. I really enjoyed it. And the day that we were supposed to go, I'm like, all right, let's go see him talk. And he just like, I'm not really feeling it. I go, yeah, I'm not either. So
nice.
Empty promises.
Yeah, you build your foundation of life on empty promises.
Yes.
Nice. That's exciting. So Ron Howard's directing it, obviously.
Yeah.
Ron Howard could do a really good biopic. Is this a biopic, right?
It's a biopic, yeah. I think it'll be kind of a snooze fest, but I think it'll be interesting because Ron Howard, he's been kind of ice cold recently, but we'll see. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Cool. All right. With all that news out of the way, let's get to Pet Sematary.
You can't handle the truth.
She's gone from suck to blow.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
So we were supposed to have a Stephen King diehard fan on the pod, which is why I really wanted to see this just to hear the differences between this and the book and whatnot. But we don't have that luxury because Zimmerman abandoned us in our time of need.
Yeah, Brett thought we were doing it this week, and he thought we were doing it last week. We pushed it back for something. What movie did we do last week?
Shazam.
And so Brett, he's going to Cincinnati tomorrow for Easter, so he couldn't. He was packing or something like that. I don't know, but he sent me a lengthy text message that he wanted me to read out loud. So he goes, a great adaptation of Stephen King's darkest ending tale. I didn't mind the changes from the story at all. it gave the movie a pretty fresh feel. It ended up being quite terrifying, and I actually jumped a couple of times. This movie was a very real chance to be. This movie has a very real chance to be the best horror movie of the year. Definitely one of the best King adaptations ever, maybe the best. But I may be saying that because I have a post-movie high. Feature two actors who you don't know their names of, but are definitely in a lot of stuff. Strong acting across the board, potentially some iconic scenes, some great stabbing scenes. And then he gave it an 8.7 out of 10. And he gave the end credit song, which me and him both started cracking up, a 0 out of 10. Pet Sematary is a dark movie, and it ends, and then after about 15 seconds later, there's a pop song that they just keep saying, like, Pet Sematary, and it's just so... It so throws you off of the ending tone of the movie. Did you catch it?
No, I bounced immediately.
Yeah, well, me and Brett didn't get a chance to talk before the movie, and he went to the Blue Jackets game last night, so I wanted to talk about it. So we talked about it in the theater for like 30 seconds, and then we got up. And as we were walking out, we both started cracking up and looked at each other like, "Are you listening to this?" I'm like, "Yeah, this would be the worst song of all time." Yeah, go listen to it. It's called Pet Sematary. It played post credits of that movie, which is just hilarious. And if you haven't seen it yet, stay for it. Pretty funny. I am kind of with Brett here. I was blown away by how much I like this movie, and I don't get the bad reviews.
Yeah, he hit on a lot of things I wanted to say pre-spoilers. It's dark as shit and actually terrifying. Like when I first heard just the title, I'm like, what are they gonna be haunted by a bunch of cats and dogs? Like, what the hell? Like, how is this gonna be scary?
I knew nothing going in either.
Me either. It is terrifying. It's more kind of a haunted house type thing than. Pet Sematary has very little to do with it, kind of, in terms of like animals, like an actual pet cemetery. It's more of like haunted lands kind of stuff. But yeah, I think the two he was talking about are probably Jason Clarke and John Lithgow, if I had to guess. The two people you know, they are great in it. The little girl is awesome. She looks like a young Elle Fanning, actually.
She does a lot.
And her name is Ellie in the movie, so I thought that was funny. But yeah, she's a dead ringer for like a young Elle Fanning if they ever want to cast her as a young version of her. I'm not familiar with the wife.
She looked very familiar. Let's pull that up.
Yeah, I mean, John Lithgow looks like an old baseball mitt. He looks like just worn out in this movie.
And he takes his hat off at the beginning, and his hair sticking straight up. Oh, I loved it.
He's just got straight leather as skin.
Amy Seimetz? I know I've seen her in something. Let's see, boys and girls. Alien Covenant, Keegan. There you go.
I haven't seen Alien Covenant.
Cool.
But I do remember seeing her in trailers.
Okay, so I've never seen her in anything. Just a familiar-looking face.
Yeah, she's good.
She was good. Oh, she's in Stranger Things for 3 episodes. Becky Ives.
Becky? Is she Barb's mom?
Sister?
Barb's sister, yeah.
I know who Barb is, but...
30-year difference.
Yeah, that's why she looked familiar. So there you go.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's just... I don't want to spoil anything.
Here, listen to this. She directed 2 episodes of Atlanta.
No way.
Yeah. Wow.
Dynamic.
Sick.
Just this took a lot of... This went in a lot of directions I didn't expect it to go. They even teased one thing. I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh, shit. And they still, like... They just, like, leave you out to dry and just completely blindside you at moments. Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, very uncomfortable at times. But I think the ending... gets kind of silly.
I laughed once towards the end, which is never a good sign in horror.
Yeah,
but
it takes a lot of the horror out of it when you're kind of like, this is kind of a little ridiculous. But other than that, yeah, this was at like 93 when we first talked about it. Then it dropped. What's it at now?
57, I believe.
57, yeah. So it's rotten. I think if you're a horror fan, it's definitely worth a watch. I was on the edge of my seat. I mean, I'm also like a kind of a pansy when it comes to horror movies, but they did a lot of really interesting things to get you scared. I don't think they relied too heavily on jump scares. It was just very unsettling and disturbing and dark, and that's where most of the fear came from. But the jump scares I thought were earned and were pretty effective.
Yeah, there wasn't really a lot of cheap ploys. A lot of really cool shots, man. It reminded me of like Hereditary with how cool the death shots were, like just the haunting shots, which is the highest praise because that was my favorite part about Hereditary. But what doesn't make me scared when I see these scary movies is when it takes like a weird supernatural, like weird demon take. And this movie didn't do that. And I think that's why it scared me, because all the horror was in your fear of death, which I think as a human being and as a mortal, We're all scared of dying. And I think as a mortal. And I think that really just it just kind of drove into that fear, and I loved that. This is the scariest I can remember being in the theaters as like an adult. I was always terrified seeing horror movies at like 14 lower, but over the last 4 or 5 years, I've seen quite a bit of horror movies. This is scarier than Hereditary for me. This is scarier than It for me. This is scarier than Get Out. This is scarier than Us. I was literally terrified in this movie theater, and I saw it by myself. I saw it with just Brett, so maybe that added to it. But I don't know. It was really scary, really good. I enjoyed this horror movie, which doesn't happen a lot. I will give it. Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
What were we gonna say before I get my score?
So your theater was just you and Brett?
Just me and Brett.
Yeah, for me it was me and then 3 people like 2 rows in front of me, but yeah, pretty much empty. But yeah, that I think in horror movies a crowd could help a lot, but this didn't need it. This was just as terrifying with 4 of us in it as it would have been with 100. So. And
so yeah, I'm gonna give this movie an 8.1. I thought it was a little bit better than Hereditary. That's why I gave it the 8.1. I gave Hereditary an 8. I had to look that up. Does horror have much rewatchability to me? Not really. So I probably won't watch this movie again if I'm being completely honest with myself. But I recommend it to if you like horror movies and if you like Stephen King, which Brett is literally about as big of a Stephen King fan as you can find. And he walked out of it saying that was a great adaptation. I'll get to the 2 different things he said were different from the novel. I got that from him as we were walking the theater. But he loved it, so I assume it is a great adaptation. Yeah, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it if you like horror or Stephen King.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10. If you're a horror fan, definitely go out and see it. If you're not, I think I'm not, and I still really liked it. I think you'd enjoy it. In terms of watching it again, I don't think I'll go out of my way to watch it. But if anyone's like, "Hey, I want to watch Pet Sematary," I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. I think I'd watch it again." It's an hour 40. It flies. Maybe a little bit of drag towards like 70% in. It drags a little bit, but it's short and it's sweet. And yeah, I really like the movie. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. I kept waiting, like, okay, it's gonna get bad here, and then I was like, why is this a rotten? Like, The Conjuring, I hated, and that got 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. I can never understand horror movie Rotten Tomato scores. Horror and comedy are kind of crapshoots when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, don't let it fool you guys. This is a good movie. Go see it. Spoilers. So what I was referring to with it getting silly was when Ellie gets revived and just kind of like dominates grown men and women. I mean, maybe has a Chucky feeling to it. She gets the upper hand on John Lithgow, so his is okay. But when she's like wrestling with her mom on the bed, it's like, lady, this girl is probably like 45 pounds. You can just easily destroy her. Yes, there's the whole supernatural element of she's revived and maybe she's gotten strength in the afterlife, whatever. But it seems silly that she's like breaking down doors basically and like going toe to toe with grown human beings. When she was walking on the machete at that one point, or that large knife, and I forget what she says, but I literally laughed out loud there. So yeah, I agree. It kind of feels like Chucky, kind of feels like Leprechaun at times towards the end, which maybe isn't a bad thing. I don't know, but it did kind of take me out of it a bit. How about the ending though? Usually good prevails in horror movies. I can't really think of a time that it doesn't. Doesn't here? In Hereditary, it doesn't end well. You're right. But you know, most of the time, good wins out. I was waiting for it to turn. I'm like, this just keeps getting worse. I know, and I'm like, okay, so is this guy gonna kill his dead wife and dead daughter here and then drive off with his son? Like, that's not even that good of an ending, but maybe. Yeah, and it didn't. It ends haunting. They're all 3 of them walking to the car with the kid. Yeah. With the house on fire. Love it. Love that. And there's no hope for the kid. It ends vaguely where it's like, do they get him, do they don't? But, I mean, it's a kid in a car. He can't drive away. The best he can do is not unlock the door and die in there. But maybe they don't need to kill him. Maybe they'll just grow with him. I don't know. But also the girl dragging the mom to the pet cemetery was like, can she carry that much weight? She had to throw her on her back at one point to climb up that wall. Yeah. I'm not sure why the student that dies in the crash, like, why is he our like haunting figure? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, why can people see him? Like, why can the babies see him and stuff? That was the biggest, like, I don't understand that.
You can make a case for why she kept seeing her sister because she just kind of seemed like she was suffering from PTSD her whole life. But why did that guy keep popping up? That was weird.
I don't know. I mean, maybe that. Yeah, I was gonna say about the baby sees him because maybe that's Jason Clarke's PTSD is that kid's death. But yeah, the baby sees him at the end. So I don't
Just
know.
like haunted the family. Maybe
It's
it's
not
a
like
bit.
the campus is on the soil of like their property or anything. Where maybe the college is haunted. It was weird that he was the guy.
You literally don't need that scene. You can take out all the scenes with that student, and the movie's still just as good. It's probably better.
Right, like maybe Jason Clarke is just hearing voices. It doesn't need to be the kid that died, you know.
Yeah.
You hinted that there's no like supernatural thing. One thing I thought that was really interesting that they didn't delve into was like that beast that John Lithgow points out in the book when Jason Clarke is bringing his daughter to revive her. You see that like off in the distance. I was like, oh shit! So they never showed it after that, but I thought that was an interesting like supernatural element that they added, but they didn't dwell on it. So you're right, like it didn't really come into play, but just like the folklore of it all, I thought was really fascinating. They really hint at the kids burying their pet in the trailers, and that's just like the first 3 minutes of the movie, and they never come back. It's just kind of a weird ritual, I guess, that the townspeople partake in. But I thought like maybe they were going to be the villains, and then even that was like a kid is the bad guy. A kid and pets are going to be our horror in this movie. That's not very scary. But was caught off guard with actually how terrifying the movie was.
You've never seen the one from the 80s, right?
No.
Obviously not. I don't think so. He didn't talk about it afterwards. So I want to talk about what Brett said's different in the novel than the movie. So in the movie, he said pretty much up until the daughter's death and her getting revived, it's pretty much exactly the same. And in the novel, the little girl also kills the wife. But at this point, the guy is having like a mental breakdown from everything that he's seen, which kind of makes sense. And he's letting himself get disheveled and all this shit, and he's just turning into like he's losing his mind. And he loses his mind, and then that's when he revives his daughter. Okay, I wanted to make a point of that. So he's so distraught from his daughter dying, he takes her to the pet cemetery. At this point, he's already insane. Take The Shining. So the daughter gets revived. The daughter comes back, and the mom sees the daughter. Like, what the fuck is going on? How is our daughter still alive? And at this point, the dad's just gone, and the daughter ends up killing the mom, and the dad is so far gone that he just takes the mom and he goes and revives her through the pet cemetery. And at the end of the book, it ends with him at his desk, and he says, "And then I heard her loving touch on the back of my neck," and that's the end of the book. So it ends very ambiguous. And so does this movie. So Brett goes, it's a little bit different, but kind of the same, and I like the way they did it. So
Yeah, and that's not terribly different either.
No, it's not.
It's all still rooted in the father's search to revive his family and everything.
Because certainly the dad is kind of losing his mind at the end of the movie too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Especially when he tells John Lithgow like, "I'm waiting for the call from my wife and everything."
Yeah.
I was so confused as to why John Lithgow tries to revive the cat, but I guess it's just he hasn't seen it done since when he was a kid, so he wants to see if it's real or not.
I think that's definitely a point. I think another point is he thought that, he even said that, my dog was always kind of an asshole, so I thought this loving cat it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, he was young, and he said he never had anyone touch himself or whatever. He hasn't, been around people. I didn't want to say that out loud. But he really liked the daughter. He was really into her.
Oh, God.
No!
Just keep digging.
Shit. I lost my train of thought.
But yeah. He says, like, he got really close with the daughter, so he wanted to... He hated seeing her so upset, so he thought maybe bringing the cat back could help that. But
now,
it's like, dude, why are you risking that?
Here's something I'm confused about. You know how she turns into his wife at one point?
Yeah.
Did he revive his wife? Was the dog story?
Yeah.
Was the dog story just BS, or did he revive the dog and he's like, "I'm gonna revive my wife," and then he acts his wife? But then, if that's it, then why would he revive the cat? That doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah, 'cause if he knew, I still think even if he didn't know the repercussions of bringing someone back, I think it's still dumb that he did that. But especially if he brought the wife back, and it
had to kill her.
Yeah. Then it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, no, like. no sympathy for you for dying if you made the same mistake twice. But yeah, that was something I didn't fully. Cause that's a risky move, man. Bringing something back from the dead, even if it's just a cat. The cat's a dick. Really cute cat before it goes though.
And then did they use a different cat? Why was it so terrifying later? It just looked different.
I think they just rubbed dirt on it all the time.
I guess so.
Just covered it in dirt and syrup. Also, the stapling in the back of the head. So
Oh,
maybe,
maybe just every part of my body just cringe and crawl.
especially when he's brushing her hair and he's clearly like ripping stuff out. It's like, oh god, it made me really uncomfortable. But the one scene that it wasn't quite Hereditary levels of uncomfortableness, but it was when the two kids are in the street and the truck is just barreling down the road, and Jason Clarke sprints and saves the kid. I'm like, oh, thank God, we're in the clear. No, and then the girl goes. It's like, oh God, that was a heartbreaking scene.
Yes, Hereditary-esque, but not on that same level as Hereditary.
Yeah, because that was disturbing to the nth degree, where it was like, I mean, a head getting ripped off by a light post is just so extreme.
I've never came so close to
truck.
Yeah, I've never come so close to throwing up in the theater. I almost threw up during Hereditary.
Yeah, but that scene was just another really dark moment in the movie.
And how like the wife's then clutching her little stuffed animal with blood on it afterward and stuff like that. A lot of really good shots, and like they also like faded shots at one point. You know how they dissolve shots into each other, and that was making me jump. And I'm like, this movie's just so in my head. This movie,
the movie's living rent free in your head. The wife's sister element was another really dark, literally twisted element of the movie. That just made me uncomfortable, just seeing her just disfigured and in obvious pain. It was like, oh, why do you gotta keep showing this? And then the way she goes out is just so dark.
I'm not gonna lie, my eyes were closed during most of those scenes. I couldn't take it. It was so gross. Ugh.
A disfigured girl falls down a dumbwaiter and dies. It's like, I'm laughing about it now just because it's just so insane. And
is that Bae, Keegan?
Oh my God, Jesus!
If she was Asian.
With a British accent. If it was Kevin Shen, then yeah, I'd be in. Yeah, but I had nothing else to add. I was shocked with how much I liked the movie.
I was blown away by how much I like this movie. I feel like this is the first time, Keegan, that I've gone to a movie theater during this podcast, have been dreading seeing it, and then I'm actually blown away by how much I like it.
Yeah.
Like Shazam, I was like dreading it, but then I saw the reviews and heard word of mouth. Like, you know what? I'm pretty excited for this. This, I was like not excited for it. Saw the reviews, not excited for it. Then I saw it and I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's happened yet.
I wonder what changed between the initial reviews and the rest, because it was sitting at like mid 90s after like I think like 40 reviews, which is pretty good indicator. Like Shazam had the same score through similar reviews and then maintained that. I wonder what happened with, I don't know, like the early screening. Like people loved it, and then once it got to general audiences, critics just kind of pooped on it, and I'm not really sure why that is.
I'm very confused.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I want to go back and read those reviews now and see. I wonder if I'll agree with what they say, but I just don't. I won't care. Maybe the girl overpowering grown people is what threw people off or something. I don't know. But
I got nothing.
Yeah.
The things I don't like about it are okay, because the plots are always kind of thin in horror movies. I don't think this is even overly top thin. Like, I really enjoyed it. I got nothing wrong with this.
There's a nice Easter egg to Derry, Maine, where it takes place. The dude loves Maine.
Dude loves Maine. And cocaine.
He probably wrote this book in half a night after doing just line after line of cocaine.
But the dude's still breathing. Maybe that's the key to longevity.
Is he still pumping out a lot of books?
I don't know. Probably like 14 a year. I had a roommate.
His pace in the 80s at the height of his cocaine use has to be like 50 books a year. He's just a wizard.
Does he still write on cocaine?
Probably. There's no way.
My roommate in college, he believes that Stephen King's just a ghost name that other people use.
It's like the Shakespeare conspiracy.
I believe the Shakespeare conspiracy. Conspiracy. You know what? He does about 2 books a year. In his peak, he would do about 3.
Wow, so he's still crushing it. Good for him. I think he's now just such a brand where he could write anything and it'll be a bestseller.
Yeah, but like you go through these books and like most of them stick out. It's pretty nuts.
I mean, there's like some crazy shit in it though. That's like, what is this? This guy's just a lunatic. But there's enough there where they get made into movies or stick around in the public conscience and everything. But I think I don't know. I haven't read any Stephen King. I'm probably the worst person to talk about this, but I think he's just such a brand now where he's okay. I don't think he's writing like his best stuff currently.
The Outsiders came out last year. I feel like I heard something about that. Maybe it was just from Brett though. But yeah, anything from the last decade or two, not really catching my eye. Green Mile came out in '96. Was like the first one that I really am familiar with. So. All
right. Did you watch anything else this week?
I have not watched anything besides Hellboy, which you guys may or may not have heard the rewind on it yet. But besides that, nothing.
The Penguins got swept in the playoffs. That was hard to watch.
Tiger won.
Tiger won the Masters. You're a huge Tiger guy. I'm a big Tiger guy as well.
My favorite athlete of all time.
Yeah, that was awesome. Seeing him. I mean, it was classic Tiger where not only is he on the comeback, but people in front of him are just collapsing because they can feel him breathing down their neck.
When Molinari won the water on 12, and then he was walking to the right, and Tiger was just twirling his club, walking to the green, and then staying with his hands on his hips, glaring back at Molinari. I was like, oh my god, he is so back it hurts.
I know.
That
his
was
back
awesome.
hurts? Oh boy. Yeah, I've been watching hockey. Another year, 2 years in a row where the Penguins conveniently get a bounce right before a big trip of mine, so I won't have to worry about watching them at night or anything. But it's still upsetting for them to be out so soon in the fashion where they get swept. CBJ sweeps the Lightning, arguably the biggest upset in NHL history. The best regular season team of all time getting swept by the 8 seed.
Who had never won a series before in franchise history.
I could not. I was baffled last night. I could not believe it.
Great game.
Yeah, that was amazing to watch. I hate Columbus, but I'm pretty happy for my friends, everything that are fans of them. It was really cool.
Do you hate Columbus, the city, or the team, or
the
both?
Team. No, I like Columbus. I hate the Blue Jackets. And then Game of Thrones is back, baby. So every week we'll be doing a brief thoughts and prayers for Game of Thrones. Good episode in my opinion. It was pretty classic Game of Thrones, very slow. A lot of build up for, I imagine, 2 big wars that are coming. The reunions that people expected to see, like Jon and Arya, I think kind of took a back seat to ones that we didn't expect with Sam and Daenerys. Like, I never even once thought about those two meeting up together, and that was, I think, the best scene in the episode. And then you have Jaime and Bran, which was hilarious and getting memed to death. And then a big bombshell dropped that I think was handled awesomely, especially with Sam delivering it to Jon. And then I'm super excited for this season. Now I've been very pessimistic about it. I think I thought it's gonna be terrible, especially after season 7, which I thought was dog shit. But this has some promise now, so I'm looking forward to what's to come. I'm only gonna miss 1 episode on my trip, but hopefully that does not get spoiled for me.
Thoughts?
Will you ever watch this?
Hey, I hate fantasy. I watched a pilot. I will never watch Game of Thrones.
I hate fantasy after raving about Hellboy 2.
Yeah, I like Guillermo del Toro, but like I don't know. I'm not a big fantasy guy. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Harry Potter never did it for me. Watched first episode of Game of Thrones, not doing it for me. I got better things to watch, guys. I hate to break it to you. Call me pretentious asshole. Call me whatever you want to call me. I will never watch Game of Thrones. However, I want to say this.
Better things to watch and pretentious. This is like the most awarded show of all time.
Yeah, but like also I don't like mainstream things because I'm a hipster. So like that's also factoring in there, Keegan. If you don't know,
fair.
Either I'm on it early or I don't get a board or I'm not a follower. Okay.
Early adopter or not at all.
It's true. Never got a Facebook because of that. How about that? People are just hating me right now at home, I imagine. No one's listening, let's be honest. But Keegan, the one thing I did hear, people still tell me Game of Thrones things, and I pretend that I watch it from time to time just because, whatever, build the persona of me being a pop culture guy. I've heard that it was the best pilot, the best first episode of the season. Do you agree with that ever of Game of Thrones?
No, the pilot's the best season premiere.
Where they get the full 4 wolves.
Yeah, 6, 5.
Whatever, one's white, right? What? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the best. That's one of my favorite episodes of the show is the pilot.
Second question I got for you: the dialogue. I've heard that it's just shit since the book stopped, and heard this one. It felt like it was I felt that like there were some conversations that were 2018-esque or 2019, I guess we're in. Do you agree with that?
The dialogue is much worse since they surpassed the books. Like I just said, season 7 is awful. Minus like a few moments here or there. It's just kind of a different show now where I've come to accept that. Tyrion is a bad character now. In seasons 1 through 4, he's the best character in the show, and now he's just dog shit because they don't know how to write him. He's gone from the smartest guy in the show to an idiot, and they even point that out in this episode. And for seemingly no reason other than it's convenient for him to be an idiot now. I wouldn't say it's 2018-esque at all. Maybe a little fan servicey here or there, but not as egregious as it has been in the past.
Sheeran?
Ed Sheeran, yeah.
Talk about
Rob
jumping the
McElhenney
shark.
From Always Sunny has a half-second cameo where he gets shot in the face. So that was good. But no, nothing as bad as Ed Sheeran.
All right, well, that's it. I got nothing else to drill you with, and I will never see Game of Thrones. Sorry, guys.
Shame.
I never seen an episode of Breaking Bad, so.
You would like Breaking Bad.
Or Sopranos. I would like Breaking Bad. I am a pharmacist, so I mean, I think I'd really enjoy that show. I should watch that. I'd rather watch all Breaking Bad than Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I will say
you
this.
would like it more for sure.
Yeah, I have no interest in Game of Thrones. I plan to watch Breaking Bad at some point in my life, though it's been spoiled for me. But it was spoiled the day after the premiere, the series ended. So
Rian Johnson directed the best episode of Breaking Bad.
Rian Johnson is also the GOAT, so that bodes well.
All right, thanks for listening. Beer review.
Michaels, are you okay?
It's just beer.
What kind of beer?
I'd like a keg of beer, please.
Hey, Johnny, how about a beer, huh?
Better when I'm drunk.
Oh, spoiler alert. I also had this hustle this weekend. I said spoiler alert 12 times this episode. Hopefully that was your drinking word for this episode. But no, hustle was really good. It's an IPA. It's a little lighter, a little fruitier. It's a good summer beer. Rhinegeist, this might be my favorite beer they've made. Usually I'm kind of low on Rhinegeist, but they hit it here. So really good. I think it's a 6% IPA. You can drink a lot of these. It's a good summer beer. So it's hustle.
They really hit it there, huh? Like a baseball? Nice. Yeah, Rhinegeist is a bad brewery, but I don't think I'll get that. Just because I don't like IPAs all that much.
You would like this IPA. It's
think
fruity. It's fruity like your personality.
Thank you. Cool. That's they're now 1 for 15 in our eyes. So good. It's a bad batting average, but they finally got one. Follow us. Movie_ReBrew, me at Cash Money Keegan, Mike at _Oglebay. Subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. We'd appreciate it. Give us a 5-star review and roast us. Oh, I'm 50 pages into Dune now. It's good. I really like it.
I'm 100 pages into Dune, and I enjoy it. But let me tell you, it is kind of confusing. A lot of names out there.
Oh, kind of?
Gotta keep track.
Peyton gave me the best advice. Just pretend like you know what's going on, and eventually you will know what's going on.
That's what I kind of feel. That's what I kind of feel.
That's what I've been doing. So, all right.
Pretend you know what's going on, and eventually you will. I know, because I feel like, yeah, whatever. No one wants to Dune talk right now, so we'll stop the spot.
We'll see you next week.
But this will pay off, guys. 18 months from now. What our watch may be a little thin around because we're reading Dune, but 18 months from now when we do the Dune pod, we'll be experts on it. You guys will be happy.
What are we doing this weekend? Is
I'm
there
down
anything out this weekend?
No, actually, not at all. I can't think of a single movie that I want to see in theaters. Should we do some cool thing?
Maybe we'll do a topic then.
Favorite summer movies we're going to do. Kick off summer. I just came up with it. I want to do it.
Maybe. We'll see. All right. See you next week.
Favorite book? Whatever. Yeah, see you next week. Happy Easter, everyone.